What up? Welcome back. What is going on? It's been a few weeks since our last time together. It's been a few weeks since I last did a pod. Well, I got some explaining to do, I know, because this is supposed to be a weekly pod. And so, let's go back about 2.5 weeks ago. The weather went from 50 to 90 to 50 again. And man, that shit messed me up. Oh, your boy was busted. I was bad. Oh, I was down. I was bad. I was messed up. It was a good brother knockdown. All right, silliness aside, yeah, I was sick for a hot minute. Uh, I'm cool now, you know, and I wanted to try to squeeze a little something out before the end of the week, so it wouldn't be, ages before y'all got a new pod. Couldn't let this week end before getting out a pod because, man, there's a lot going on. And so much has gone on in the past few weeks that I'm going to skip past a lot of stuff that I had bookmarked and ready to talk about, to speak about some really wacky things that are going on. And so let's get right to it. We're actually probably going to speak politically without speaking politically this week. It's kind of weird, but here we go. And so y'all probably know by now that all these companies are cleaning house. These companies don't give a boop. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about you as an employee. Okay, and so why do I say that? What we got? We got Don Lemon. He's out. We got Tucker Carlson. He's out. And Bongino, I mean, they say he went out. They say he left. But man, cats are getting cleaned out. Everybody's getting swept on out. Swept. Say, you gotta go. Sweep. I don't know why I sweep like that, but they're getting put right in the dustpan and tossed out. Whew, it's crazy out here. And so this brings up a larger topic, which is probably more entrepreneurial than political, but I felt like it is something that we should probably discuss here. And so what happens when you've dedicated your time, your energy, your reputation, and given years and years of service to a company, and they say, all right, player, here's an email, don't come in. That's what they did to Don Lemon. Don Lemon was not able to go and say goodbye to his staff and friends, and that one homie nobody knew he had at the office. None of that. Say, hey, player, you got to go. What happens? And what happens when you do one thing and the company says you did another? All right. They are saying that Tucker Carlson and Fox have two different stories about what went down. Hey, listen, I don't know what's true and what's not true, but what I do know is these raise interesting questions. Because when you dedicate yourself, your time, your reputation to a company for so long and they give you the boot, what are you left with? You're left with your reputation and a lot of hard decisions. And so I'm not saying either person. I don't really know much about the Bongino thing, so I don't really want to chime in on that one. But I do know that both Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson, regardless of how we feel about them, were staples at the companies that they were at for a very, very long time. They were top dogs, if you will, at the companies they were at for quite some time. I mean, probably Don Lemon longer because Tucker Carlson was around, but before O'Reilly was fired, Carlson wasn't really who he was as of recent. Point being, still was a top guy. And so these are people who were stars at their companies for years and years. Don Lemon, way longer. We know that. And we got to figure out where are we going to watch Don Lemon getting drunk at on New Year's. That's not a shot. It's not. I just think it's kind of funny. But anyway, so regardless why they were released, let go, whatever you want to say, They were let go. They're no longer employed at these places where they've put in lots and lots of time. And so the question bears, what's next for them? What would be next for you? You know, you got to figure out what it is that you want to do, because these companies will not be loyal. I truly think, and this is not the same comparison, but someone who is a major star right now, Jonathan Majors, I think because of everything that's going on with him, Disney's going to get him out too. And so what happens in these situations? You got to figure out what's next for you, you know? What's his name? Chris Cuomo. He was a long-standing person at CNN, and he was let go a while back. Excuse me. He seems to have landed on his feet. He seems to be doing his own thing. And that's what I want to speak about today, doing your own thing. And so you got to get to a mindset at some point. Well, I guess you got to make a decision, right? Don Lemon's not going to have a hard time finding work. Chris Tucker might. Chris Tucker. So sorry, Chris Tucker. That was not on purpose. The other guy, he might, right? Tucker Carlson might have a harder time finding employment because his job was a little more specific. You know, those views are a little more specific. What he's known for is a little more specific. And so he may have a harder time, but Don Lemon will not. And so they are at a crossroads, right? They can choose to A, continue on the path they were on and be employed and go pick up and be possibly the big face of another company, the number one anchor at another company, or they can start their own thing, okay? I'm not going to shout out any companies because no one's wrote me a check, but there are other companies where you can broadcast on your own, okay? There are people who have done lots of things at other conglomerates and kind of pivoted into independence and seen lots of success. And so for average Joe like me or you who's listening, this may not be so simple, right? If you are a construction worker and you get fired, it might be a lot harder to go start your own company. But, you know, and become an independent contractor, it may be easier to seek employment. But my question is simple. My question is there more of a benefit in being independent and building your own situation than being with a company? Yes, being with a company is sometimes easier. You go, you show up, and you know, hey, I got my benefits, I got my steady paycheck, but they can let you go at any time. Being independent is a lot harder, but everything is on you. That's both a good and a bad. And so this is just a thought-provoking, this is just a question time. I don't really have a stance on what happened. I'm just reporting and raising questions, as I like to do. Hopefully make you put your thinking caps on. And so that's it. I just wanted to see what you guys thought, because I'm big on independence and being a rebel and trying to do your own thing, right? And so that's cool, but I also understand it's not for everyone. So my question is this. If you were one of these two anchors, these two behemoths in media, that's the truth, whether you like them or not, regardless where you stand, regardless who you are or not a fan of, they're two behemoths in media. If you were one of these two guys, one of these two gentlemen, one of these two behemoths in media, what would you do? Would you roll with another company and try to go and just continue, you know, just keep it pushing? Or would you go more on an independent route? Start a YouTube channel, go on another, you know, I don't want to shout out these companies, but what would you do? Would you be more about your personal brand and try to expand that? Or would you just buckle down, maybe take a pay cut and go to another network? I think for me, I would probably try to go the independent route. And obviously these people have agents and staff. I'd have meetings with my staff and see, hey, what's realistic for us right now? What's the market saying? I mean, is there a company that's going to pay me triple right now? Then maybe that's what we do, while secretly starting the small stuff that we could do. Maybe in my new contract, I put that I have an independent channel somewhere else, or something independent that I can start on my own. Because the reality is, none of us are safe. We could all be fired at any moment. It's happened to bigger stars. It's all about the moment and how you use it to move forward, right? How you use it to plan, boost yourself up, whatever. And so that is my topic for today. And now we're going to move on to something a little different. I want to talk about companies still. And so I want to get this woman's name correct. Hold on. Because I like to give props where props are due. Okay. Cindy Gallup. Okay, so Cindy Gallup is the person I'd like to discuss. So I've been following Cindy Gallup's company for quite some time on social media, unbeknownst to me. I was following a company called Make Love Not Porn for quite some time on socials. I think they have really interesting things. Personally, I like their branding and their marketing as well. And recently I saw a clip of this older woman talking about sex and the adult industry versus what she calls real life sex. And then I went and found that this was from a TED Talk, and I watched both of her TED Talks. And so she's done 2 TED Talks. One is TED and the other one is TEDx Oxford. Both very interesting. And she made me think. And so I want to give Cindy Gallup props and kind of speak about some of the same things. And so her second TED Talk is probably more worth watching. If you are interested in learning just really interesting things about the adult industry and the mind of the average individual. And so her whole mission is that people are learning about people are learning about intercourse, sex through porn, as opposed to having real life sex education. That porn has become a nasty standard, quite literally. And so not that we are not only are we obsessed with porn, but we are using porn to dictate our real life sex. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things in porn that there are weird and intricate moments that are skipped in porn that happen all the time in real life. And she wants to shed light on the differences between both what happens in porn and what happens in real life, and allow people to see true intimate moments. And so this is not an ad. She did not pay me. I just find this stuff really interesting and wanted to share it with you all. And so that's what I'm here to do. So her company is called Make Love Not Porn. She speaks about a lot of the things that she is going through or went through, because this was 10 years ago. Like I said, I stumbled upon it and did a little research. And so this was 10 years ago. She speaks about some of the troubles she had with getting a business bank account and funding and all these different things. And today their site is much different than 10 years ago. I visited it recently. And I think she's absolutely right. I think Cindy is absolutely correct. I think that many, many people watch and love porn, and that's okay. But we also have to realize that that shit is not real. She made one great point about lube. She was like, you never see lube in a porn, even though there's tons and tons of it on set and it gets used all the time. I was like, wow, she is so right. And so she makes all of these great points, and I kind of want to shed light on the same thing. Your expectation of sex is probably not coming from real life. It's true. There are a lot of times where people see things and they want to emulate the things they see in these videos, right? No matter what kind you like, whether that's hardcore or gangbangs or straight or not straight or whatever. There's too many categories to name them all, but no matter the type of porn you're watching, no matter the level of production, whether it's a really big thing and it's a parody or whether it's something small and amateur, you're probably not watching the same thing that is happening in your bedroom. Even if it's because of editing, right? Even if it is an amateur thing where someone's holding the camera and they're doing their thing, whatever, there's probably stuff being edited out and things that are just more to be about the visual than about the experience. And so that's what I want to talk about as well. Cindy shed light on it, and I want to continue to do the same. I believe in her mission. I think that she's doing the right thing, at least from what I saw in the videos. If there's something different happening today, I can't speak for it. So far, what I've seen is all good stuff, 2 thumbs up, or as her site would say, the yes button. And so, where she's focused more on education and, well, the website the second website she launched is more about like watching and experiencing porn, and the way we should change that to have what she calls real sex, real world sex. My conversation is about the sex itself, right? Yeah, you can't be in the bedroom expecting the person to do everything your favorite porn star is doing, or expecting them to do the things that you have seen in the porn you watch. Number one, they don't watch the same porn. Excuse me. They don't watch the same porn. Number two, even if they do, they don't like the same things. Number three, do you even know what they like? And so assuming that what you see in porn or what your favorite thing in porn is what's also going to happen in your bedroom is not a good idea. Now, what is a good idea is having conversations. Cindy says that most people don't want to have these conversations. They're weird, they're embarrassing. I say too fucking bad. Have the conversations, because if you don't have the conversations, what you have is weird sex experiences instead of memorable, fun, great sex experiences. And so my conversation is about the conversations. These conversations are so important. They are such an important pillar of your sexual chemistry, your sexual experiences. If we're not having these conversations, you're stifling yourself, your partner, and the experience the two of you are having together. And this doesn't matter how you identify or who you sleep with, because we all have likes and dislikes, and until we express those things to one another, we can't be better. No sex is going to be perfect every time. No sexual partner is going to be perfect every time. People make mistakes, weird stuff happens, and so you have to speak and learn about each other. And that's how you continue to grow, continue to have fun, continue to have great situations. Without that conversation piece, I don't give a fuck how much stuff you watch, whether it's her website or porn or educational videos. You got to have a conversation, because even if you think you've mastered something, that doesn't mean the person that you're with likes the exact thing you're doing. You may think you have the perfect stroke and suck technique, ladies. You might think you got the Gawk 3000, but what if he doesn't like being stroked? Now let's pick on the people who eat pussy, right? Fellas, non-binaries, everybody who enjoys performing oral sex on lady parts. What if you think you have the perfect lick, suck, finger method, but this person you're with doesn't enjoy being fingered? I'm being very explicit to kind of raise points, and hopefully this video doesn't get flagged, shadow banned, etc. But what if? You don't know if you don't ask. And so now you're putting both of you in awkward situations, because they see you're enjoying it. They see you're trying to please them. They may be like, well, I'm just going to have to take it and just, try to do my best, because, you want them to think they're doing a good job. You want the situation to be fun. You want to please your partner, hopefully. But now there's an awkward situation. If it was me and I was in an experience I didn't enjoy, I would communicate, because it's not going to be fun for either one of us, honestly. And sure, there are signals. People get dry, things get soft, sure. But that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes part of what's happening is enough to keep you excited. It doesn't mean it's enough to get you to the finish line, to the big O, as they say. And so these are things to think about. And these are things to discuss with your partner. And you should be doing it regularly, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe not every time you have sex, but you should be speaking to your partner and figuring out, did you like this? Did you not like that? How do you feel about this? What are you into? Okay. And I mean, in the bedroom, if you want to speak about the type of adult entertainment you watch, the type of porn, whether it's from Cindy's site or from some other site, that's fine too. But The way to have great sex is by communicating and realizing that what we watch, no matter where it's from, cannot dictate what happens in the bedroom. We have to speak to each other and dictate what happens in this bedroom. Clearly, this is not my bedroom. But my point is, when you're with your partner, that's the things you should discuss, because that is how you're going to accomplish great things together and have memorable, long-lasting, fun sex. Long-lasting as in continuing to want to be with each other physically, not the time your intercourse is happening. So that's it for today, folks. We're going to wrap it up there because I feel like that was pretty cool. And we close to 20 minutes anyway. And I thought this was going to be longer, but I don't want to go run on and run on and run on. So that's it. Talk to your partner and figure things out. Work with your partner, because that's what it is. It's working together. And like any other relationship, even if it's a purely sexual one, you still have to put in work in relationships. Don't be scared to do that. Don't be scared to talk. All right? So that's it. I'm out. I will see y'all next week.